Shabbat Shalom to everyone. You know, Joyce, I was thinking, this is a great memory. I'm sure Everett's going to have it. No, think about this. It's so beautiful that on this Shabbat, he is given a name when his grandmother's present in the synagogue. Ken Horwin. We don't say Ken Horwin. No, I'm just kidding. As I said before at the baby naming, Rosh Hashanah is coming very soon. And over the years, I've spent a lot of time in synagogues on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And I'm thinking about the very beginning of my career when I was a rabbi in Baltimore right after I graduated from rabbinical school in 1983. And one of the great honors that I had being an assistant rabbi was being able to work with one of the great chazanim, one of the great cantors, really in American Judaism at the time. His name was Rabbi Cantor Saul Hammerman. He had this beautiful tenor voice, and he really knew his stuff, and he recorded cantorial records, and he was extremely nice to me, even though he told everyone behind my back that he didn't know what I was doing. But that was Cantor Hammerman. I really loved him. He was a great guy. And he was right. I was 27 years old, and I was clueless. When he got up and he led worship, it was so dramatic. He would look up at the ceiling, and he would do these wonderful cantorial improvisations that kind of reminded me of the great chazanim of Eastern Europe or of Brooklyn. And the high holidays were something, especially on Rosh Hashanah. It was a conservative synagogue, and the main service was in the morning. And the first part of the service was led by a lay person, a knowledgeable person. And then there was the Torah service. And then, the crowd kind of builds up over time because the services are 4 hours or so. So then this thing happened. Cantor Hammerman took over. And there is a special prayer that I'm going to refer to called Hineni, where the Chazan leading the congregation in prayer in the Musaf, the kind of meat of the service, it's a confession. And it's an admission of the cantor's inadequacy and self-doubt in facing the daunting task of leading worship on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. It speaks of humility and self-awareness necessary for approaching God. But the great cantors schmaltz it up like they're Broadway stars. And Cantor Hammerman would start, and this is the way many chazanim do it, they start in the back of the sanctuary, and slowly they chant this beautiful, remarkable prayer. And Cantor Hammerman would slowly go through the congregation, eventually arrive on the bima, on the pulpit. And Cantor Hammerman was so dramatic. He thought this is how it's supposed to be done. And this is how the great cantors did it. And the congregation who saw him growing up, he literally came there at the very beginning of his career, they loved every minute of this. So, giving you that framework, let me share with you exactly what Hineni says. It's not in our Machzor for interesting reasons, but let me give you a preview or something so you'll hear it, okay? For this is the prayer leader. Here I am, so poor in deeds, I tremble in fear, overwhelmed and apprehensive before you to whom Israel sings praise. Although unworthy, I rise to pray and seek favor for the people Israel, for they are entrusted me with this task. Therefore, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, God of Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, Adonai, Adonai, merciful, gracious God, who inspires awe, I pray to you for my success on my path. I pray for myself and for my community, Do not hold them responsible for my wrongs and offenses. So beautiful. May my deeds cause shame them no shame, and may their deeds cause me no shame. So, and then it turns to the needs of the people of Israel, and the prayer serves as a kind of way of saying, what I'm doing is part of the entire Jewish people. Let me read you the second part just quickly. It says, accept my prayer as though it was offered by one whom worthy of this task, a scholar, proficient in prayer, unblemished in character, pleasing in voice. Let love be our banner. Let it banish all wrongs. May Israel's strife and misfortunes be turned into joy, renewed life and peace. Love, peace, and truth. May they prevail among us, and may there be no impediment to my prayer. Again, he wants to move it away from the liturgy, from any inadequacies they have. It's not about me, it's about Israel, it's about God. Adonai, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, God of Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, great, mighty, awe-inspiring, God Most High, who said to Moses, I will be what I will be. May it be your will that my prayer reach your presence. For the sake of the righteous and blameless, the honest and pure of heart, for the sake of your glory, you hear your people's prayer with compassion. Blessed art you, the one who hears prayers. Really, I mean, it's an extraordinary prayer, and you can see it's long, and if it's dramatic, it's dramatic. I love Cantor Hammerman, and he taught me so much. He was a character and a great professional. But the way he chanted this prayer totally contradicted the spirit of Rosh Hashanah and how we should worship. And I'd have no problem saying that to him at this point. Becky, Nathan, and I put into our services a lot of preparation, a lot of thinking. And I fear that sometimes people do not fully grasp what we seek to do. I fear sometimes the service is seen as some kind of religious entertainment, and people judge it as such. What does that really mean? Was it too long? How did the blisses do? Did Rabbi Landi make any sense on Rosh Hashanah? How was the air conditioning? Were there parking problems on Gregory Street? This is what I want to share with you, and I share it from the bottom of my heart and with the greatest sincerity as I can give you. It is not entertainment, it's worship. And worship in Judaism is participatory. It's not done to us, it's done by us. The Machzor, our High Holiday Prayer Book, is an instrument. The melodies carry the worship, and my comments hopefully at some point enrich their experience. For those of us who lead it, there are two Jewish values that must guide us. First of all is anavah, humility. The image of the high holidays is all of us standing before God and keeping our egos in check. And the more ego we have, the less we are able to experience the presence of God. When we are all puffed up with ourselves, there is no holiness. This is the meaning of Hineni. The second issue is connected to the first. It's called kavanah, which means intention. We must be focused in on what we're doing. We always have to be mindful that this is about the sovereignty of God, however you understand God, and the awakening of ourselves in hope for a new year. Now, how many years have we been working together?
6.
I was right, okay? I must say this. I've been worshiping with Becky and Nathan for at least 6 years. 6 years. And we know their musical abilities. And we know that they are performers. They have a group called Barnaby Bright. They write all of their own music. They cut albums. Their talent really has no limit. And I just say that because I feel that way. And I know how people respond to their musicianship, as they should. But I have a very different experience. I never feel that there is a performance. I never feel it's a performance. I think that is why the services are meaningful. They have every reason not to be humble. I mean, really, you have no reason to be humble. You don't. And you know I have no problem criticizing you privately. But there's no reason for them to be humble. They're incredible. But they have reverence, and that moves me. And if they didn't, I would not want to worship with them. And when it becomes a show, it's unholy and it isn't worth doing. And I say that, I wish everyone was here to hear this. That's what I really feel. So friends, the high holidays are, as I said, now it's less than 48 hours, and we will do our best to lead the worship. But it's not a concert or an opera or religious Broadway show. It's not some kind of Fiddler on the Roof experience. When we start judging it, we have lost it. It's about God. It's about anava, humility. It's about kavanah, serious intention. So in the 10 days of repentance from Rosh Hashanah to Yom Kippur, let us seek to be humble. Let us seek to be focused. Let us seek to use this time for reflection. After all, we are all standing before God, and that is no time to get it wrong. Shabbat Shalom.